Now, political reaction. We're joined by leader of the UDM, Bantu Holomisa, on the line. Mr. Holomisa, very good evening to you. Grateful for your time. President Cyril Ramaphosa tonight moving the country from alert level 3 to level 1. What's your reaction?
We welcome the new adjustments. However, we have to make sure that we do not lower our guards by getting complacent and get excited. We still need to adhere to the regulations, especially those which are related to one's safety. In the meantime, I think we should also ask the IEC to convene a meeting of all stakeholders to look at the state of readiness to conduct the forthcoming local government election. Although the gatherings are limited to 100 to 250, but I foresee that we might have a challenge, given that some homes might not even want to allow people to go inside their yard and start campaigning, like a door-to-door campaigns.
General Holomisa.
But overall,
sorry, I just wanted to jump in there, because that is exactly the question I wanted to ask you about, is while political gatherings have now been unbanned, to what extent can you campaign for the local government elections? We also know that there's been some discussion about whether those elections will be held this year. Is this for you a clear sign that those polls are definitely going ahead?
I'm not sure. I don't think 100 people or 250 for rallies is enough. It's going to be difficult to control that. That's precisely why I'm saying the IEC should instead call a meeting of all stakeholders, and that in that meeting we should have or get a briefing from the health experts, the scientists, to tell us between now and August and possible November, what kind of campaign must we embark upon?
And how do you think, General, the limits on gatherings and your ability to campaign, of course, given that we will still be in a lockdown, is likely to impact the performance to a degree of political parties, because campaigning is part of a big deal as far as how each party performs and, of course, the national turnout at the polls?
Well, definitely the politics of the country will be affected if we are still having the lockdowns. So that's why I'm saying let us meet as stakeholders under the banner of the IEC and not leaving this to them or to a particular political party, which at a later stage might come up with some surprises. We want to do a thorough plan right now.
General Holomisa, we've seen in the United States they had a presidential election in the middle of a pandemic, and it was really interesting to see how President Joe Biden conducted his rallies. A lot of it was done online. There were some in-person gatherings. Has your party been discussing new ways of trying to reach people?
Yes, we have been talking about that. But the USA is first, it has got a first world infrastructure, you must remember. Almost every person possible who has been there has been bused, or they have their own cars. But it's difficult for a developing country or a third world country like South Africa. But let's go and discuss this matter. Maybe there might be some wise people who would guide the IEC and political parties how to take this process of local government elections forward for this year.
Absolutely. It's going to be a very interesting one indeed. Thank you so much for your time this evening. UDM leader General Bantu Holomisa.